a Keep Smiling moment, and I have a guest, a surprise guest for everybody. Today is May the 11th, 2020. This is the Service Heroes Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter. I am your host, and I have a guest today, Andrea Adam-Miller. I'm so excited that you're with me right now because we're going to be talking about an aha moment that I had that really was a keep smiling moment. And I was sharing it with you, over the last 24, 48 hours as I've been going through this. And before we start talking, I want to recognize some of my buddies that have been going through this with me are showing up, and I'm so excited. Ambassador Rachel Johnson, so glad that you're with us today of the Chemo Buddies for Life. And also we have a newly promoted senior ambassador because of everything she's doing. Oh my goodness, so glad that you're with us, Sherry McQueen. In fact, Sherry actually was like, kind of like reminding me, okay, Tamara, you need to sleep sometime. You need, that self-care thing. And yet I was sharing with her that this was so important to me because your program is so important to me. The whole idea of smiles are so important to me. And so let's catch everybody up on what it is that you do. I know we visited not long ago, but you are the executive director of the Keep Smiling movement. And yes, her name is all over the place on the feed here because she also is, the founder of and the CEO of the Red Carpet Connection and a very dear friend. And when you believe in someone so much, you want to show up for them. You want to do the very best you can for them. And that's how I feel about what you're doing. And so I'm so glad you're with me right now to talk about this because I'm sure I'm not the only one that had a little bit of a writer's block situation going on.
Well, you're a giver and you do so many things for other people. So it kind of goes along with that self-care. So yes, you do share a bit of your journey when you talk about chemo buddies and finding a friend, but your true story, your why, your who are you, and how you came to be and how this all came to happen at a deeper core. A lot of times we never get that opportunity to really share our story. And the Keep Smiling movement is about that. Who are you and how did you, find your voice and what caused you to lose your smile and to gain it back and give it to other people? So the Keep Smiling movement, for those of you who are curious, we're a mental health nonprofit organization. And what we do is we spread a dose of hope. And that's what we do. And we so SMILE has an acronym, by the way. It's a society merging international leaders and entrepreneurs. And that's what we do is we create a community as well to support other people and other organizations that have services like what Tamara's doing for all of you with Chemo Buddies and the outreach she did during this COVID situation, going beyond. You didn't have to have chemo to need a buddy. And for her to open her doors for that is amazing. And so now it's your time, Tamara, to stand up and tell people your story and shine again. So yes, you won the Great Impactor Award and all of that, but do you always get to really step into your own light? Well, you're too busy shining the light on everybody else. So in fact, I need a flashlight so I can shine. Right now.
I love you. And that's what I love about our communities, and I'm going to put it plural because, the Keep Smiling movement, just
I'm shining the light on her.
Oh, there we go. I'm not used to it, guys. And Chemo Buddies for Life and the Service Heroes Show and the Red Carpet Connection. And, we can go on. And Ken and his group with, and the show that you guys do where you're always sharing, and you do the same thing. You spotlight others. And there are those people that I have been fortunate enough, and now you've read, you haven't seen the final draft, but you read my first draft of what I submitted, and it talks about in there even, and I bet you were thinking, oh, and Ken Tent too. Oh yeah, I remember those days where Tamara would just show up, and with her, tripod and whatever. I used to joke people that I would clean toilets, and I actually have at the dojo, but that's what gave me the opportunity, and the doors opened for us to get a movement started. That, as in the rough draft that I sent over to you, it talked about my doctor and those doctor visits that I had way back in the beginning, and how he really, it really was truly because of my doctor, my nurse, the doctor's office, the whole staff. They were in on the shenanigans. They all were constantly, okay, so Tamara, and yet not pushing, but encouraging.
Yeah.
Because they saw something that they hadn't seen before, and because of the way that our laws work here in the United States in particular, they work for us. I'm going to definitely say that. But when it comes to, like you said, the hope of smiles, the hope, the love, look at that smile right there, that energy that comes.
Well, I'm giggling because I'm trying to write to the people on Facebook at the same time so that I can help you do with the publicity. So if you see me looking down or sideways, I'm going to be talking to other people while I'm listening to you.
And I love it. And I will tell you this, we have the best ambassadors here. So anything that you want done also, just say it to the ambassadors, and live from Michigan and live from Virginia, and then we have live from South Carolina. Where are you live from, Andrea?
Oh, I'm live from Findlay, Ohio.
Findlay, Ohio.
Northwest Ohio.
And I'm live from Temecula area, the wine country of Southern California, the South Napa Valley is what they call us here. And so I love this interaction. And so I had an aha moment, and I was sharing this with you too. And I had gathered some stuff here, for some images, and I just want to kind of share it because I like to tell stories, and I was, because as I was thinking about, because we get assignment, there's an assignment involved with this program, which I love because it keeps a consistency going with telling the story. Because look at behind Andrea, look at all those little smile books that have been done.
There's my book. There's, the opposite. There's another one. Look at all these. They're all over the place. We have over 100 of them now. So.
And I love it. And I will say this, that it really touched my heart. And Frank, if you're watching this or when you hear it in replay, I want you to know this personally. The first person, when I put this post out today, that gave it a thumbs up or a liking was Frank Shankwitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. And that really meant something to me today because, especially because the last 24, 48, 72 hours, because I made a commitment, I made a promise. I said to both Ken and Andrea, I promise you're going to get this chapter. And I didn't quite then finish the statement and say, I'm having a little bit of a roadblock right now. And, I just left it open. But then I was talking with actually, some of my buddies, and Susan Brown from California. I love it. And as we were all visiting, and I was real open about it because we're very open in our community. That's what I love about the Buddies movement. And and we have a safe environment, and we are able to just put it out there, because when you're dealing with, helping to save your life and the life of others, it's pretty big. And so, I was sharing with them that I'm in the process of writing this, and I had to step away from a few things because I needed to get it completed, and I kept going back to this kind of an idea. And I kept singing this song to my mind. Okay, Tamara, you got this, you got this. And I kept singing that song. And you're a singer, and I'm not, but I'm going to kind of like put it out there.
What song is it? I'll sing it for you.
If by chance you meet a frown, it's a like a nursery rhyme for churches. It's like, if by chance you meet a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. No one likes a frowny face. Change it for a smile. Make the world a better place by smiling all the while. And this is and when I was going through cancer, I continually would say that, even though I had no voice, because I had the sores on my vocal cords. And when my kids were growing up, I would sing it with them, because they didn't have any kind of a discerning ear for sounds, and they loved moms, and so I kept going there, thinking, okay, that's what was going to really help me to have this epiphany on how to really share what it is that what where I wanted to go with this. And then magic. My assistant, she's like my right hand person. She actually runs things most of the time. And Erin Houchin, she kept telling me about when one of my board members, he's over our digital platforms. He's an Emmy Award winning, videographer, producer, director. But he's been with us since the very beginning.
Amazing, man.
He created this documentary, Sacred Journey of the Heart, which is Erin's very favorite movie. Before she knew him, it has always been her very favorite movie. Well, I had never seen it, and I got it in the mail, and I quite honestly, I kept putting it off to the side, thinking, I'll watch it. I'm sure it's wonderful. Everything he does is wonderful. I'll watch it. Something woke me up in the middle of the night, Andrea, and it was to watch this. So it's like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm watching this, and this is during this period of time that I'm working on the Smiles chapter. And I saw that Erin was up in the middle of the night, on Facebook. And so I'm like, okay, I'm watching it. And she's like, I told you needed to watch it. Kind of like, okay, I told you. Because she's always telling, she's really good for me. She's like a white owl kind of person. She's like, okay, you need to do this, Tamara. I'm feeling strongly. You need to. When I did, it all came together. It really did, because what it did, it was a full circle moment for me, because what it did was it brought together what my doctor had and nurses had been talking about, Andrea, and that was the frequency that they experienced when I was going through my cancer with my original buddy. And for those of you that don't know the story, that's why I put up the celebration journal, is because that is talked about in the celebration journal, and it's free on chemobuddiesforlife.org or cb4l.org. And Sherry McQueen has a lot to do with this journal right now too. And I'm loving this. Okay, so keep smiling movement, and it always never ceases to amaze me who shows up when it's like the perfect timing. It has to do with that frequency thing I'm learning, guys.
Well,
Dr.
Olympia does the Family Film Awards and has been honored
Yes.
for all kinds of connections. He's friends with John Travolta, who's in the Keep Smiling movement. We also have other people on here like Jill Briska, who was recently nominated to be a service hero because of her wonderful work. And you mentioned the word frequencies. She actually has a healing system, quantum healing system, that really has done some amazing things for people to help them overcome, whatever they've got going on, their underlying issues in a fast, easy, comfortable way, and no surgery, no medication. I mean, these people over here are amazing. And then Skip with his instrumental movie and what they've been doing, and how everybody always comes over here for you and reaches out and does all these amazing things. I mean, Tamara, your support system. I mean, if you're, we just had Dr. Steve Taubman on this morning on another radio show on with Ken called Amplified. And he was talking about who's on your lifeboat, who's your support system. Shoot, Tamara, you could be sinking in any ship and people are going to keep you afloat.
And I am humbled and grateful for that. Let me just tell you that, Andrea, you know it. And you've known me nearly as long as Skip has. I will say that there's a few people that have been around for a while. And so as I was going through all of this, guys, the thing that came to me and that was huge. And then and Andrea and I are on the phone this morning, and I'm like, okay, so what'd you think? And we're coming up with the name, for the little smile, with Mr. Smiley, because I'm thinking, okay, yes, we're going to do Mr. Smiley. And we had all these visions, and tell me what you were thinking about. I mean, it's not going to be the first version, guys, but where we're going with this, because I was like, oh, that couldn't be more perfect. So tell us what you were telling me.
Well, let me preface it with saying what Tamara hasn't shared yet is in her story, she all of a sudden realized that from a little girl, one of the things her favorite memories is sitting around with TV, watching TV with her brother to watch The Wizard of Oz. And actually you look like Glinda, so there you go. Beautiful. She said Glinda was her favorite. Woohoo! And I just moved things on my desk. I had a little magic wand right here. I don't have it anymore. Oh wait, I have this wand here. I have this one. My friend made me a Harry Potter wand. So and so she talked about being on the yellow brick road, and of course she had a roadblock. Who doesn't? So some winged monkeys or something were in her way, and how she really realized, what was important to her. And you said that somewhere over the rainbow is her favorite song. So then I thought, oh my gosh, we can custom do the front cover. To put a rainbow behind her and, put some ruby red slippers on, or maybe some ruby pink slippers on. Well, whatever. Go with Chemo Brothers, buddies. Chemo Brothers. Chemo Buddies. That would be fun. But whatever, we can create it.
I love it. Well, we used to, our image used to have the pink, but we went to the international purple color. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking that. We could do like purple ruby shoes and everything. And then you haven't seen the final draft where I liken really my mother to Glinda and I look a lot like my mom. Yeah. So I finished the whole thought because I needed to loop it around, and so I finished it this morning. And I have to say that this is where why I wanted to go live today with this. And really share this message, and that is, it does take a movement. It takes many. It takes buddies. And in fact, that's when I said, okay, Andrea, because there's a question here. Okay, so what is it that you want? It's like, okay, so cover and design. So, and you pick a name or a word and everything. And I was thinking, oh, well, we have the Love It movement. And then I did win the next Impactor. So I'm thinking love, impact. And what did you say?
I said, well, it always says keep smiling, shift happens as our general book. But then we ask people to what they would want in front of happens. So some people say hope happens, smiles happen, what happens for them. And I said, well, for you, why don't we have it be buddies happen?
could not be more perfect, right? Barry Shore, hello, the founder and the creator of the, Keep Smiling. We had you on not long ago as a service hero. I just absolutely love, love, love all of these people, and thank you for showing up. The idea here, because the thing that why it meant so much to me beyond just the obvious that it's telling the story, is because I understand what you're doing with your nonprofit, with where your nonprofit and who your nonprofit is serving, because that it hits home for me, because I know with our buddies what we are doing. And in the story that I submitted, I did talk about even this show, and how when the show starts, it just brings a smile to my face, because every single service hero I meet, I'm inspired by. And you have been sending some amazing ones over. So I keep saying, okay, who else do you have? Who else?
Well, I'm really excited because we're doing the whole last week of the month for National Keep Smiling Week, May 25th through the 31st, with all of authors from the Keep Smiling book, people who are also doing a movement and have programs and services that help provide things to give people positive mental health in their life, whether it's with their finances or with their relationships or with their work. And we want to support you, Tamara. I mean, the reason that we partner with different people to do different things is because the Keep Smiling movement is about creating that society of people together and supporting community. So by loving on you with advocacy and awareness, and then when people come to us and say, I found my smile again, I want to help others build a smile, and whatever their niche is, and in their case, like, I'm worried about somebody who's had cancer and them being alone, I want to be able to find a buddy for them. I'm like, I know someone. we have a partner that can provide that service for you and can help give your mom, your dad, your loved one, the opportunity to have a chemo buddy for life. And that's what we're excited about. And because we want to encourage you to be international, because we are international.
I love it. I love
27 languages and Braille right now, and we're moving to 50 eventually. And so Tamara's book, when we've been wanting her to write a book since we first met her. Ken and I met her in Reno, Lake Tahoe. Yeah. I forget where we were, somewhere near there.
We were technically the very first time we ever laid eyes on each other. We were in Lake Tahoe because we were getting ready to go on the lake. And then that next day we were in Reno at the event. Yes. So. Both.
Yes. And I just fell in love with her. I just thought she was great. She was amazing. I got to really connect. And then she was going to have to be in Vegas, and we were, being friendly and talking all the time. And I said, wait, my friend and my client, AJ Poyton, he has a place where he might be able to host you. And so then AJ reached out to help her with Chemo Buddies for Life by providing her with a place to stay while she was in transition at his dojo. He's an amazing, he has a new product called the Freedom Code. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It just really helps you code your life for freedom. And so then I ended up being there the same time that you were staying there.
Yeah.
So then we got to connect and be together again. And even then I said, I want you part of our movement. I want people to know your story and what you're doing. And we want to help advocate for what you're doing to generate awareness, because you cause smiles, and we want to make sure that what you do is honored and that more people know about you.
And I thank you for that. And yes, guys, yes, I will say, yes, she did. And they have, and both she and Ken. All I can say is
Ken's been after you. I think he texts you every week.
No excuses. It's just, like I am one that I do have a little bit of a domino thing going on in my life. And that is, I do kind of follow the yellow brick road, and with at those periods of time when I was running for the next impactor, that was kind of an all-consuming situation. And I kept thinking, okay, I win this. This is going to help really to give that title and that credibility also. And so now I really believe the timing is perfect, because I do have that kind of a philosophy that when the time is right, then those, it just falls into place. And it was the timing. And so and I knew it, it's like, okay, now it is. And I'm thinking, okay, why am I having this situation? Well, it was because I was supposed to go a little further down the yellow brick road and have a little bit of an awakening and learning. And I had to laugh at this. I'm bringing it back up. My theme song, if I only had
a brain, I would while across the hours.
Me too. I have a request at some point in time. We need to have Skip and Andrea do a fun, moment in time, because you both have that comedic, beautiful voices. And I don't know if you know this, but Skip actually in his college years did theater, and so he did do those, he did, and he has some pictures. He's a tall man, and he has some pictures of goofy faces going on and stuff on stage, back in the day. And so, I can just see that. And you have done, I've shared your pictures on stage. So I'm thinking the two of you guys, we need to do this, and I'm so glad, Rachel, because I do too. Quite honestly, I started this back in 2018, and I gave it up for a little bit, and I had to bring it back because I missed it. I missed everybody. I missed.
Everybody who's been on has really, really enjoyed that. And one of the things I want to do to help give back to her, so I need all of your support, is for those of you who are in Chemo Buddies and so forth, if you're open to sharing these on your Facebook pages and on your other social media platforms, even after the fact, because it's after the fact where she gets downloads and replays, where people see these, it brings more love to Chemo Buddies and what she's doing and her message, and it helps all of you as a community together. And she mentioned time, and Barry Shore has taught me that I need to use more acronyms because they are moving. So let's say for now, time means timely impact for a movement for everyone.
Oh, I love it.
Let's get going.
I love it. Can we use that? I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you. And I will, you guys, look at this on the bottom here. Yes, Andrea is helping. She's gotten behind me, and Ken. They have gotten behind, and Barry. All three of them have gotten behind the Service Hero Show, thus Chemo Buddies for Life, and Tamara Hunter, and to help push this out because it's time. We needed to build the infrastructure, quite honestly. And I was telling Andrea this too, because we didn't have the Buddies site up. We now have the Buddies site. It's in beta, but in the next week or two, wink, wink, we are going to be a baby website. We are graduating here. We're finishing the work. And I want to say, Laura, so wonderful to see you. It's been a little while.
So Laura doesn't know this. I would have her on my list of people that I want. And she may already have been on your show, but Laura,
she did. I was just about to say that.
She's on the list.
Yeah,
she's on the list. So Laura, we're announcing it here. You have been nominated as a service hero, and I had an opportunity to have her do a healing session for me, and oh my gosh, was it amazing? So, all right, think of the people who are on here live today who have done, who've just been giving. So Jill Briska is Dr. Jill Briska, KintsugiWellness.com, Kintsugi-wellness.com. She does this healing frequency, amazing technology that she can do for people. I was healed by working with her to correct and do some things. So whatever FCC things, she doesn't heal. She just motivated and moved things along. Let's just put that she turned my body into a positive. And then Laura cleared some amazing things for me. And I don't know Laura's website. Laura, put it in the thing over there, but don't write .com or you'll get a Facebook flag. So just write your Facebook thing and then put a space and then write the word dot and then whatever it is, com or org. Jill, you do that too, because if you guys have wonderful products and services, people need to know about it and come and visit you. It's amazing.
Oh, we have Jeremiah Knight here today. Oh my goodness, it's been a while, Jeremiah. I am so thrilled to see you. Do you know Jeremiah Knight? If you don't,
I want to.
Yeah, oh, you do need to know Jeremiah. He is amazing. He's the author of a book series, and he's now gone over to TikTok, and so he's doing a lot of TikTok stuff, and he's got such an amazing following himself, and I just absolutely adore this man. And it's been a while since I've seen you here, so thank you for stopping in.
Well, he says that you're an unstoppable warrior of change.
I will say this, he has been one of our supporters from the very beginning too, and he's gone out there to raise awareness for Chemo Buddies for Life. He's done a lot of live shows and featured our information and everything, and it takes that to make it happen, right? Because I mean, you are the CEO of Red Carpet Connection, and why don't you explain what that is? Because there's so many people right now here that it's interesting that they're coming, and there are some that are not going to know who you are, and I want them to know who you are.
Well, thank you for that. So one of the reasons that my name is scrolled across the bottom is being friends with Tamara and loving what she does. I wanted to make sure that people saw her, because she did win the greatest impactor, and yet a lot of people don't know who she is and what value she has for them. And so many people go through chemo and go through cancer. By the way, you don't necessarily have to have chemo to have a chemo buddy. That's just the name that they have. And so if that's affected you at all, reach out to them and see how they can help you. And I wanted her message to be out there. So I agreed to be a media sponsor for her. And then because she is doing a Keep Smiling book, that got increased and stepped up even more, because anybody who's with us for the Keep Smiling movement, our Smile ambassadors, we want people to know that they're out there and what products and services that they have to help us really raise the energy of smiles in the world. Because to us, a smile is the universal expression of love and acceptance that crosses all cultural boundaries. And, 2015 is when Ken Rochon met Barry Shore. So Ken Rochon Jr. and Barry are the co-founders, and Ken and I had already met. And that March of 2015, the guys talked, and they're like, Barry had these beautiful cards and was already going around the world talking about Keep Smiling, and he has positive message cards as well. And then Ken Rochon said, how can I take these cards and make them into a movement? How can I help you with my digital marketing? Which of course he did. And then within weeks, Ken said, Andrea, this is what I'm doing. I need help. And I said, I'm in. And so I've been with Ken and Barry since the beginning of this, since it all started, and it's been really, really fun, and we really are ready to change the world, and the time is now. Yeah. Oh, so the Red Carpet Connection. I'm an international publicist, and I do publicity consulting, social media consulting, get people on radio and television, help them convert so that they are able to. And there's a lot that goes into that, and people are surprised sometimes on what that. But it's a lot of just showing up and being places and being in the spotlight. I'm going to bring out my flashlight again. Being in the spotlight.
It's just fun, guys. I will say, because she's always wearing red, because Red Carpet Connection, and when I first, as I started going to events and where she was there and I was there, before we really started getting to know each other, I'm watching her and I'm like, she's just fun, because she's got like even a red camera, and she's out there doing stuff and fun and oh yeah, you're gonna share it? See, I mean, yeah, that is a camera. and then she'll break out in song, and then she'll like this and that to get the like if there needs to be a little bit of energy flow going on, she's gonna create it. And then you've never seen two people working so hard, because she and Ken are both working in the room, doing their thing and everything. And then they immediately go to the back and they are editing and they are getting things done. And then they're putting things together, and then they're out there doing it again. I want to know how it is that you keep that energy going. I do know that as I started to get to know you, and I'm thinking, I'm so glad that everybody was working with you, because I do know there for a while that your back would be hurting. And so that, like, I would be like, okay, let's go take care of you, because you needed to be taken care of. And hopefully that's what now is happening. I'm so excited.
Well, it is interesting because that is the number one thing that I hear is people say, "What? Oh, it's your energy that attracted me. How do you have this radiant energy?" And it's really funny because the people that I attract in my life are very much like that as well. If you've ever been around Barry Shore, hello, good looking people. You're looking good because you're looking for the good in others and joy. That is my imitation of Barry Shore. BarryShore.com, by the way. He's a motivational speaker and an amazing man. And I just can't be as cute as he is, but oh my gosh, he's so adorable. And then Ken he has such a charm about him. People just fall in love with Ken all over the place. They just love his energy, and he's witty and he's funny, and he gets people to do stupid things on camera, and they just love him. And then me, I just really love people, and I like to laugh and sing and be playful. I mean, personally, I would like to live as if my life was a musical. So, like, if we could all break out in a group dance and sing right now, that would be good.
And she does. I can attest to it, because I mean, like, we were at a women's event in LA that was hosted by Allison Larson, who was on just not long ago, and some others. And you get up there, we all had our moment to say hello and who we were and everything. And you get up, and I mean, it's like song and dance time, and everybody's like, yeah.
Give them the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle. But the whole point of all of that is, I mean, I'm playful and fun. And yes, I have been in the spotlight for a long time. I've been very blessed to. That's how I became a publicist, is I did publicity for myself. I was on 2020, CNN, E-News, stuff like that. It got quoted in different things in magazines and newspapers all over the world. And then other people started asking me to help them, and I found that I had such an attraction to that, because I want other people to shine and be in the spotlight. So so I'm goofy and fun and do all of that, but I really want to elevate you, and that's why the Keep Smiling movement works. When I met Ken, I just loved how he really radiated and captured people's smiles. I mean, I'm a photographer as well, and his gift for photography, it's so impressive. And then Barry, he just is so fun. When he was on the Jack Canfield show, Jack literally shook his hand at the end and said, "You are the most interesting man I've ever had on or interviewed." And then we met you, Tamara, and we just fell in love with you. And that's, guys, it's taken us, I think it's been 3 years now. It's taken us this long to convince Tamara that it's time for her to write her story. And that's because it is.
Yeah. And I have to just say this, and I think that everybody knows me well enough that knows me. And we all have our core values. And the thing about me is that in telling my story, I needed to have the ability to then say, we can create buddies. I can share this message because we have the infrastructure in place. We have, the place now for you. And the final version, I now at the very end, I liken the fact that, because in the one that you did say, I said that, looking for, the brain and the courage and the heart and home, the things that they're looking for in the Wizard of Oz. And then I talk about how I found the three in Chicago, but I still was looking for the one, the home. And then at the end, I was able to say that now, I can click my ruby purple slippers. I'm going to change that. Purple slippers. I love that. And I have the home now. It's called our Chemo Buddies for Life community. And you see a lot of the community members coming here. And I can say there's no place like home now, and come home. Where 3 years ago, I didn't have that built yet. I couldn't go out there and in my good conscience put that out there yet. I knew where it was going. I knew it was coming, but I needed to have something of substance, because those of my buddies will understand that when you have that, you are in the midst of it, you don't even want to wait until tomorrow to get a buddy. You need a buddy today. And I needed to know that we could do that by putting that message out there. Now I can do that. And it feels so right.
Skip wrote, "You're not in Kansas anymore."
I know, and you didn't see that. I wrote that in the final version too, because I write about Skip. You'll understand this because Skip knows my original buddy. He knows this story so well. He's heard it many, many times. He's filmed it, I think, too. And that is that and I liken this, though, when I'm coming out of the fog, when I'm going through that allergic reaction that started this whole thing on my very first day of treatment. I talk about how when I was coming out, I'm opening it's like, the house fell on, the Wicked Witch. And I'm opening that door from the black and white world to the colored world. And then I go into the wonderful world of Oz with, and then start the journey for the answers that then, it's that whole loop. And so I love it.
Right now, I want to sing, "When you meet the wizard, your whole life will change. Because when you meet the wizard, nothing stays the same."
I love it.
That's from Wicked.
I know. I love that. I love the music. I have the music. I know it all by heart. And I've been to the play, and yes, guys, when I am obsessed by something, I'm a little obsessed. It's true. And that's what this has been. It's been a calling. It's been a passion. It's been my life since I started this. And so this is a full circle, and it's really interesting who's here. And Erin, thank you for being here. Erin has a lot to do with this too, because really, truly, it's interesting, the full circle and how it all works. And anybody that wants to think about getting involved, and that's one of the reasons I really wanted Andrea here, because they're in these books. There's an opportunity for you to have your buddies, your friends, your people, if you will, be a part of the book with you. I mean, the first version, it's going to be as it is, or they can be telling their legacies too. And when Erin and I were visiting in the evening, in the middle of the night, and she's saying, "Okay, now chapter 4, and go to this video and go to chapter 4 and do, and kind of working me through this." And then I finally let her know it worked. It worked. And the fact that so many are coming right now, I don't see it as an accident. I see it as divine. Again, it's that frequency, like my doctor was telling me in the beginning, and I didn't understand. It was Skip and Erin that actually taught me about frequencies and this whole cone. I mean, we've been talking a lot about it in our group, and so it started making sense. Oh, that's what he was talking about. However, I went with it because I understood this. I understood that I trusted my doctor. I saw the difference of what was happening. And some of the stories that I tell in this chapter, I'm not going to tell here, but that there was obvious medical and life changes in different ways that came out of all of this. And this is going to be very powerful in such a cute little book. And for others that want to be able to have their legacy, or if they want to be, because I was asking you, how would it work if they wanted to be in it when we do the really cool ruby purple slippers and the Wizard of Oz, kind of feeling? How would they go about that?
So there's a couple different ways. So one of them is that, all right. So for Tamara, what we can do is we can actually have a Keep Smiling mixer party. So we can come to a certain location or a certain place, invite people to come and take pictures of her fans, supporters, followers, the people she admires and so forth, and take pictures of them holding the Keep Smiling cards. And another opportunity, if we're still like COVID or if people can't get there, we can send them the cards. And we're also getting them so that they'll be online. So that way you can have it show up on your phone. Right now, I'll just have it like that. And then you take a picture of yourself with your phone. Well, someone else takes a picture of you holding your phone with the card on it so that we can include that picture of you. And so that's one way of you being inside of Tamara's book or someone else's book. But another piece is that we know that each one of you has a story within you. You have a legacy that we want to make sure. See, the reason that became so important is Ken lost his mother to complications from Alzheimer's. And he realized that after his mom died, we're talking about Ken Rochon Jr., co-founder of the Keep Smiling movement. He realized that his mom died and she died with her why, her story. And he, and while we do a condensed story, it's kind of like a TEDx of talks in a story because it's, like within 10 minutes, or 20 minutes shoved into a little book, but it's the most important part of your story that's in that book. So people get who you are and your why. And so that you're shown off to the world and not shown off in a braggy, icky way, but in a beautiful way that people honor who you are in your heart, because that's the part of the smile that means the most. There's my buddies. And then Barry Shore, why this is so passionate to him is, Barry was perfectly fine one day. By nightfall, was a complete quadriplegic, and it took several years, almost a decade, for him. His mindset really. He chose not only to externally change the environment with his smile, but then he turned that smile inwards, and he's now ambulatory and he walks. He does use a 6-foot walking stick, but he walks, and he realized his purpose in life was to lead people in joy. Sorry, I got to say joy loud and clear. And then for me, my Aunt Audra, her name's, I call her Audrey. I was a young girl, and my aunt would always smile and even if we were alone, she would smile and do this because she was ashamed of her crowded smile. And I just always thought she was so amazing and so beautiful. I wanted her to feel comfortable smiling. And through the years, I grew up an only child, a lonely child. And I often felt my voice was silenced and quiet, and so it's kind of ironic now that I get paid to speak and people actually want to hear my voice. And that's what we want to do for all of you, is you have a story that we want the world to know about you, about your heart, your why, how maybe you lost your smile once by going through a trial or a tribulation or challenge, and how you found that purpose, that passion. Or if you're developing it, let us put out there. Or if you have a movement, partner with us so we can do, create that. And all you have to do is reach out to us and we'll talk to you about it. It's inexpensive. It's beautiful. It's easy. Tamara, you had writer's block at first, right? But then in a few moments and a beautiful movie, you had yours written in how long?
Yeah, I had to get back and forth from different things. So I don't know in total time, but it wasn't a tremendous amount of time. I will tell you that. That's not the issue. Like with me, it definitely wasn't the time as much as, to me, it was more the content, because I really wanted my content to be kind of, I'm an overthinker. So, but for really, it's not difficult, because, the thing about it, I will say, is that you have a Keep Smiling chapter template that, it asks.
You answer 4 questions.
Yeah.
Who are you from birth till now? What trial, tribulation, challenge did you overcome where maybe you lost your smile and found it again? What is your why? What is your purpose? And what do you do in the world to create smiles for other people? And we're looking for 3,500 words or less. And first of it's just getting the story out, and then it's just condensing it and getting it to be what it is. And then we tell your story, our stories in there too, to introduce why we got your story. And then, and I mean ours, meaning the Keep Smiling movement, is written by Ken. And then we feature pictures of 99 other people that are either in your community, people you admire, people that are in your same category or genre, because we have them in genres, and people that you want to know or work with. It's really about honoring other people, and so that's why other people are in there, because everybody is about a community. And then under everybody's picture, we have a motivational quote. So between the stories and the motivational quotes, people start to smile, and we've gotten such great feedback. People love looking through the books, and it's so fun to watch them. Like even when we first gave a book to Jack Canfield, Ken and I were in a mastermind with him, which was really cool to be peers with him at a mastermind. And Ken gave him the book, and somebody really important was speaking on stage, and Jack couldn't help himself. He went through every single page, and then he'd smile, and and then we see people often get out their phone, and then later we'll say, what were you doing? They're like, oh, I took a picture of the page and then texted it to my friend that I knew was in the book. I didn't know I knew so many people in my book. And it's just been this amazing opportunity for people to come together as a community and help lift and support. And we have over 20 organizations that we help generate awareness and advocacy for, because they provide a niche opportunity for people to have programs and services for things that people need help finding their smile again. And so we're so thankful for that opportunity for everyone. So that's what we want from all of you, is an opportunity for you to shine and for you to be amazing. So if you even are interested at all, just reach out to me, 419-722-6931. You can text me or call me, or you can reach us through thekeepsmilingmovement.com, www.thekeepsmilingmovement.com. And it's really an easy process.
The Keep Smiling Movement, not Keep Smiling Movement.
So it's for the website is the Keep Smiling Movement.
Oh, okay. So it needs to have the okay.
You've got it correctly on there. So if you just take what's on underneath there. Oh, I see what you did. Add the word "the" in front of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. Okay.
Yeah, that's it there. But underneath you have it correctly. So if you just add .com to the end. Mm-hmm. Or just look for me, Barry, or Ken, and say, "Hey, I'm interested in doing this," and any of us would be happy to. .com. It has .co now.
.com, C-O-M, right?
Yeah,
C-O-M.
It might not be. Oh, there's the M.
yeah, I see that. I got that one right, guys. Okay, I do have to look with these trifocals sometimes, and make sure I've got it. And then let's see. Oh, I did want to share because of the fact that I typed it in, so I want to share it. This is the title that we came up with this morning. We impacting the world. And I had originally One Smile at a Time. And then when we were talking about it, it's like, oh, we need Buddy in there because that's what it's all about. So impacting the world. This is the chapter title. Impacting the world, one buddy, one smile at a time. What do you guys think?
That's really, really good.
I'm excited about it. Thank you very much, Erin. See what? That's why she like runs things. She's amazing.
So just so you guys know, I'm texting Cameron Ventrucci, who's been on the show. She and I have a meeting right after this, and I said I'll be on with you soon. We're talking about you live on the air.
Well, yes. Oh, in fact, because we went live a little late. So go ahead if you want to jump off, unless you want to, and you can go ahead and right now. Why don't you leave us with a message and then go ahead and say hello to her and take care of your meeting.
Cool beans. All right, guys. Hey, you know what? All I want for all of you is to feel like you have the best contagion in the world, and that's a smile. Because a smile, it makes you feel warm all over, and it makes your body feel really, really good. So give somebody the best contagious opportunity you ever had, and that's smile at them. And hashtag keep smiling, and we love you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Your book comes out. Yay!
I know. I'm so excited. This is exciting. So you go ahead and say hello to her and go take care of things. And then we're going to finish up here with everybody. Thank you so very much for stopping in and sharing everything with us, Andrea. Isn't it just amazing what is going on? Because really, in truth, you guys witnessed this whole thing. I could tell you, yet to hear it from the person that, yes, every single time I saw them, they'd be like, so when are you going to come and work with us? When are you going to come play with us? And I can tell you this, that it's time. It's time for us to do this, because it's time for us to take the Buddies Network. We are healing through connections, smiling through connections. Absolutely, Aaron. Through the Buddies Network, we are building a community, a home that 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 we share humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love. It is happening. It is happening. And it's taken this long to make it happen. And I finally, yes, I agree with you, Dr. Jill. Absolutely. Thank you, Andrea, for coming in today and being a part of this, because to understand what is happening out there, again, you know this, Dr. Jill, because you were on it when I said that I am numbering these shows by the date. Today is May the 11th, 2020. We are still in many areas of the United States. We had a roll call. Many of you that are on here, if you want to, and seeing we do have a global community. I am talking about that in the chapter I wrote, that now we are in nearly every state, if not every state, and we are building internationally, that we are affecting buddies. And yes, affect them with your smile. In fact, I before I knew that she was actually going to be able to come on, I was grabbing all sorts of images with smiles and stuff, and everything she said were in different images that I picked, because the bottom line is this, is that yes, we are affecting the world one smile at a time. We are affecting the world, impacting the world one buddy at a time. And yeah, I went with impacting because of the impactor, tying it all together, because I talk about that, how it was part of this, it was part of the Yellow Brick Road, and how that day when I followed the Yellow Brick Road to the impactor, it was like I was there in the Emerald City, and the man behind the curtain was helping. And that moment in time, I talk about how it felt, and everything, and that I knew then, because of the story within the chapter, you'll get this when you read it, that we were ready to impact the world one buddy at a time, that we are creating a movement for those that need us. And we are like that song said, we are turning that frown upside down and smiling the frown away. We are also, there's a healing power. And thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Skip. Thank you, all of those that have helped me to understand how this is a healing power, that love is a healing power that we are taking. And Barbara Beckley, when I wrote this in the article just recently featured in the International magazine, the Global Influencers magazine, that the Love It movement, that we love it, and we are taking that movement out to the world, and collectively with the Smiles movement, with all of the others that Andrea was talking about, and with all of us, we are going to be able, it's so exciting, we are going to impact the world one person at a time, one buddy at a time, one movement at a time, collectively. It's time. It's time for us to have this happen. And the shift that they have been talking about on these really simple little cute little smiling books, Mr. Smiley books. It is, yes, this is very exciting, and it's all about love. I agree, Dr. Jill. I agree, and we have a tremendous amount of it. We're sharing it now. So I want to thank you all for coming and sharing the love and sharing that all things are possible. And when I talk about, it was Mother's Day yesterday, and in my final draft of the chapter, I said that I likened my mother to Glinda because of something she said to me right before she passed. And I liken myself to Dorothy. I am so excited about the fact that a story that was told and written about, it's pretty crazy when you do this. I love to learn the story, the why behind the why, and so many things. And when you learn the story of the author of the Wizard of Oz books, and you read who he was and when he started writing these, it's not a coincidence that we are talking about this now, because it was during another time in the world where there was a lot of shift happening. He came up with the stories of Oz, and now we're bringing them again out there. We've brought them through our celebration journal, those that are part of the Chemo Buddies for Life. It started there, and it's continuing, and it's going to continue, guys. You're going to see a theme. So make it a great day. It's Magic Monday. Erin and Ray and Gardner are up, the magic duo, and it's always a fun time. Thank you for sharing, Misty. Thank you. And it's always a fun time in our closed group community, Chemo Buddies for Life, the number 4 Life community, here on the Facebook page. Go to the public page for Chemo Buddies for Life. Go to the groups. If you haven't joined our community yet, why? Come and join us. If you have experienced cancer, either for yourself or someone that you love, let's just face it, everybody, when I'm in a room, I ask 2 questions. Everybody's standing. At the very beginning of my speech, wow, I get them to stand at least some point during my speech, right? I love it. But that lets me know that everybody has been affected. So come and join us for some humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love. It's Magic Monday. We're going to have fun. 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. See you there. Make it a great day. Until then, bye.